Is it difficult? Probably not at age 3, 4, 5 years old. Do they forget their mother language? No. Do they have to be extremely intelligent? Obviously not. Everybody does it. So we're dumbing down for no reason at all. The same thing here. I can teach every one of my juniors before they get to be 12 or 13 years old knows how to slice a high ball, slice a low ball, change the grip, hit with topspin, hit outside the ball, hit power drive, change the grip, come over here, move through the ball forward, move through the ball sideways. Why? Because I think I'm responsible for their upbringing. And if I don't give them those tools, then they cannot solve the problem the way I'm asking them to solve the problem. So I'm creating a monster. I refuse to do that. Do all the kids do it equally well? Absolutely not. But by George, you got 20 kids, 2 of them are going to do it, and they're going to do it right, and they're going to surprise everybody. I start them at age 7. At 7 and 8 years old, I have my kids serving and volleying. They don't even know an Eastern forehand grip from a Metropolitan grip, okay? They have no clue as to it. But I don't care, because all I'm working on is following the path of the ball. We do the drill. We'll do it right now. Ricardo, use that piece, that yellow strip, if you would, to divide the court in half. Put it right down here. Okay? Next drill that I do, we move it into a point play situation, so it's fun. Bruce, we divide the court in half, doubles alley counts. Bruce is going to serve. He's going to serve like an 8-year-old, so he's just using it as a vehicle to get him to the net. The only thing that I ask Bruce to do is hopefully follow the path of the ball, and we'll go through some splitting. When that ball hits that person's racket, I want him to split and then accelerate into the shot. Whatever else he does, whatever else grip he uses, I don't care, because all I want him to do is come to the net. I want him to come to the net. Go ahead. Doing a tiebreaker format. Turn that ball. Good. Coming in now. That's it. Play the ball out. Good. There's the shot. A little bit short. Now, I do not like the drop volley off a high ball, because in order to hit a good drop volley, the ball has to be falling so you can get under it. And also, if I have a higher ball, I have the access to be able to hit it deep and firmer, or even a better angle as I do it. So any ball above net level, as a general rule, I will play back deep or deep angle. But if the ball falls below the level of the net, then we'll go with the dropper. Play it out. Ricardo, yeah. Serving. There it is, there it is. Good shot. Excellent. That's the point that I'm looking for. Bruce uses his change of grip in there, uses his acceleration through the ball. Ricardo used the change of grip on it. You used the forehand grip on that, didn't you, Ricardo? Yeah. So what we're doing is we're developing the flexibility of strokes, the flexibility of grips, and then we'll let that flexibility of strokes drive their tactics. Now they can come to the net, because when they're out of position and they're stretched here, they can be thinking about what to do with the ball, either lob it or bringing it back here, because they weren't taught just this. Understand, when kids start from the backcourt and they learn power strokes to begin with, boy, you created a monster. Because from that time on, if they continue in that same vein, they're only going to use a third of the court. They're going to use a third of the court. I'd play them in a third of the court. I'm pretty tough in a third of the court. Okay? But they can only hit deep ground strokes into outside the V there or down the center. They can't hit short balls. They can't hit sharp angles. They're limited. They're limited. And not because of their talent, not because of their desire or their intelligence, but because we haven't taught them the flexible tools that are necessary in order to do this. Now, this time we'll do chip and charge. Bruce serves a second serve, just puts it in play. I'll only give one serve, and Ricardo is going to chip and charge. Now, with Ricardo, what I'm going to ask Ricardo to do is use this target as his splitting zone. Start off on the baseline, if you would, Ricardo. And I'm going to put that right in the middle, and that's going to be your area to split. So when Bruce throws that ball up, you're moving in, you're splitting there, and then attacking from that point. Okay?
The question is, why wouldn't you use cross court?
At first
we'll go straight, because it eliminates the temptation of the angle. You know, I mean, I think if the kids could do this in the half court and have
it's also
success,
dangerous.
Well, if you got 4 kids on the court, obviously it's
also much more dangerous at the lower stage. At a more advanced stage, I'll do it cross court. Yes.
Would you ever have little kids do it starting with a service line halfway between the service?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Always adapt.
Yeah. Little kids don't do the transition volley. They do the volley in close. Yeah. Okay, so Bruce now we're working on chip and charge. Bruce is serving and staying back. He's working his defensive techniques, and Ricardo's coming in. Moving in. That's it. Up high. Smart shot. Smart shot. Good. Close. Okay. Excellent. Good. Good point. Good point. Now, you know, that's one of the situations, again, that I encourage. I like, as a matter of fact, we're going to back up just a little bit, and I'm going to show you one point play situation. I mix up between 3 different ways. In one way, I may do some feeding or have the kids feed each other, and they're working on technique. Another way, I may have them do the drilling where they were doing the drilling earlier with a volley. And this way, where they're doing the point play. I like all 3 areas. There are sort of gradations into getting into real play so that they can do it better. But this time, I'm going to move Ricardo. Let's have you come back into the service box and Bruce into the service box. This is a game that the kids love, and it's one that, again, develops the flexibility. And the only rule that I have is you cannot hit down on the ball. It's got to be a volley, so they have to take it in the air. You cannot hit down on the ball. I don't want anybody getting pegged. I don't want them to win with power. I want them to win by outmaneuvering the other person. Ball has to be in the service box, and they're doing a tiebreaker format. Here we go. They can use, no, it got to be a volley. Got to be a volley, Ricardo. Start again. Start again. Here we go. Moving in. Good. Excellent. Excellent. Good. 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 See, now, this is a good one because when I tell them they can't hit down, all of a sudden everybody starts to realize that the service box is longer than it is wide. They never see that otherwise. They're over here trying to volley and volley and volley and hit short balls, but never high deep ball. Can't hit the short ball unless I open up the court first. So by taking away the overhead, they start learning how to lob volley. And what made me think about it was when Ricardo made that lob volley a minute ago, missed it. Well, we don't practice that. This is a way to practice that type of a shot. Open up the court. But most importantly, what I'm trying to get through to these players is not only the flexibility of the mobility and the consistency and the accuracy of the shots, I'm also trying to get them aware of each other. Aware of each other, where they are on the court and what shot is the best shot to use. And then develop those shots that are the best shots to use. You do it again, Bruce. Good. Good up high. That's it. Smart shot, Ricardo. That's it. Coming back. Good. Okay. Smart. Smart. Good. All the way through. Look at the movement. Look at the movement. And see, there again, we're going to go with this shot up here and that shot over there. So it's creating the shots that are more realistic that you're going to have to develop in net play. Obviously, I'm an advocate in net play. I think backcourt play is for old people. You know, there's no spontaneity, there's no risk, there's nothing. And the reason that people don't volley well is because they're too stereotyped, number one, and it requires too much precision. You have to be more accurate, you have to be a little bit more mobile, and you have to do those things. But everybody can do this. This is fun. So we do backcourt play. Now, we'll also do a little bit of backcourt off the deep cross court. Take the cone back there if you would, Ricardo. Remember, on each one of these, we've got a purpose, and what I'm not really pushing as hard as I should right here is the fact that I'm asking them, and we'll do it more on this ground stroke now because I'll have a little bit more time. I'm asking them to go through the corrections after every shot. As I said before, I put signs in the back of the court with the corrective methodology on it, or I'll hand out that thing and they'll have it in the back of the court there. So when they drop out and they go back there or it's in between points, they go through the corrective methodology. They're made to do that. Give me another one to divide that court if you would, and put the cone right in the middle of that back quadrant, right there. Okay, Bruce, in the middle of the quadrant. Not the doubles. No. Actually, yeah, use the doubles. Use the doubles. Now, why do I allow them to use the alley? Because I want to encourage them to go for the angle. I don't want them to have a stigma attached to just going deep and down the center. I want them to open up the court this way. Once they open, I'm a great believer that a good mistake is when the ball crosses over the sideline. If the ball crosses over the sideline, it was potentially a good shot. It carried the right angle. Now all you have to do is what? Add more spin or hit it a little bit softer. But if you're hitting it here, you have to change the whole dynamics and thought process of the ball. So we want the angle to open it up. Okay, now we're starting off with just the deep cross court. The basic fundamental shot in the game of tennis is based on this deep cross court. That means the ball has to go beyond the service line. It can be in the doubles alley, but the target is right in the center of that back quadrant. If they hit the target, they win the point automatically. But if any ball's short, wide of the doubles line or long, or wide of the central mark there, they lose the point. Okay, let's try it. And they must hit forehand to forehand.
1-me.
0-1. 0-1. Stop, stop, stop. 0-1. We're doing a point play.
1-me.
0-2.
2-me. He's nervous.
0-3. I mean 1-2. Wait, wait, wait. Short. 1-2. Good shot. Good shot.
Nope. Short.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Wait, 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 wait,
You
wait,
said
wait,
short
wait,
of the
wait,
target.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You said short of the target.
No,
Oh, just
I
the
said
line?
short of the service line.
You said lines are out when I was a kid and you taught me.
There we go. 2-all.
Take that. There it is.
Good shot. Out. 3-2.
Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Come on.
Okay, hold it, hold it. Now, my question of these two fine players. Ricardo, I don't mean you, I'm just picking on Bruce. My question to them is very simple. Bruce, how many winners did Ricardo hit?
None.
How many forcing shots?
None.
How many points did you lose?
1.
2. You made a bad call. Okay? Ricardo, how many winners did Bruce hit? How many forcing shots did he hit? None. How many points did you lose? 3. 3? Yeah, 3. Okay. Now, isn't it interesting? Two fine tennis pros right here. Okay? We played 5, 6 points. We played 6 points. All points were lost on the basic fundamental shot in the game of tennis, the deep cross court. Fascinating. We're talking about consistency and accuracy? There is none. Why? Because they're trying to force each other. Set up the point. Be willing to hit that ball in there. Go with a chip. Go with a floater. Go. And sometimes what I do with this, I'll say, okay, Bruce, this time we're going to have you play. You have to chip every ball. Ricardo, you hit every ball topspin. Here we go. Start again. Short. 1-0.
One year.
Yes, 1-all. Well done. Ricardo, get that $100 bill. Here we go. 1-all. Short.
Short.
1-2. 2-1.
Oh, no.
Out. 2-all. 3 on 4 starts. One winner because it hit the target. What I'm trying to show you is that 40%. That 30-30-40 is a very realistic concept. And that 40% is something you have control over. What does it take? It doesn't take talent. Talent may be a deterrent. It doesn't take speed. It takes patience and it takes concentration. Two of the aspects that very few Americans have. They're out of their sport. They shouldn't be playing this sport. Either that or they better develop those two aspects. Patience and concentration. Work the point. Okay, now if you don't have that patience and concentration, then we'll shift it again. Notice that there were some balls hit deep, more balls on short. So this time we're going to move the target here. And the only rule that and remember, I'm doing this with 9 and 10-year-old kids, 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-old kids. And they do it significantly better. Okay, now let's do deep cross court on the forehand only. Short ball, if it hits the service line, you must come in.
Cross court?
No,
Down
come
on.
into the same spot, going back cross court.
Okay.
Doing a cross court drill. Must come in on the short ball. There we go. Good point. Good point. Great point. Great point. Again, smart shot. He's right in that midpoint. He's doing the undercut in that situation. I love half-court drills. If I have a full court, I still will use a half court. If I have only two, I'll use a half court. Because it gets him away from pounding the ball. You know, and basically you can't, Ricardo can't really pass Bruce if he's up here in the net. Bruce has that 2/3 of a court covered. And same thing with Bruce. Unless Bruce gets into the net and really angles the ball off or drops it, or hits a smashing overhead, he's not able to put the ball away. So he has to learn to put the ball, work the point, build the point, and put the ball away in a different position. Do it again. Notice they're starting with serve, which I like. Moving in. Short ball. Good angle. Come on.
Yep.
I got it. There we go. Okay, here we go.
Nice shot.
Good, smart shot. Smart shot.
Set me up. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Good
No
depth.
man's land. Okay. Now I'll also work on two other shots. We'll work it this way, over here, and Bruce will do inside-out forehands. And sometimes I'll have Ricardo having to do the backhand, and then we'll switch it around. Other times I'll have both of them do the inside-out forehand. So they're getting used to that pattern, which I think is an outstanding pattern off the ed court side. So let's start off with starting with the ground stroke. Ricardo, you're hitting backhands only. Bruce is hitting forehands. Coming to the net on the short ball. Good approach. There it is. There it is. You were trying to play it deep, weren't you? Hey? And your shot was the sharp angle. Good, Ricardo. See, this is what I'm saying. All of a sudden, we're starting to realize that there are more places on the court than just deep. One of the great phrases that's been a tremendous deterrent to the advancement of American players, I think, has been hit the ball deep, hit the ball deep, hit the ball deep. Sometimes, yeah. Not all the times. Don't do anything all the time. Deep is good under certain circumstances. Short is good under certain circumstances. Angle is good under certain circumstances. Continental grip is good sometimes. Sometimes the reverse of it is good. All those things are good. There's nothing either good or bad about them. They're only consequences. And when you choose, there are only two reasons for making unforced errors as far as I'm concerned out here. It's not sloppiness, not loss of concentration. It really is trying to overplay the ball, being impatient, trying to force the person when you're not in a forcing position, and the wrong shot selection. You tried the wrong shot. You went outside your comfort zone when you're going to do it. And remember the comfort zone again. If I'm extended and vigorously reaching toward the sideline as a general rule, my comfort zone is down the line. Unless I develop the habit of being able to accelerate through the ball, change the grip, and bring it back cross court. When the ball is short and low and out in front of me and I'm reaching forward, my general comfort zone is back cross court. Back cross court. So when I'm under certain conditions, I'm going to stay with that comfort zone. Why? Because it's a higher percentage. I'm selecting my shot not necessarily primarily based on my opponent. I'm choosing my first choice is coming based on the ball in relation to me and how effective I will be with that shot. So basically, I'll give you 4 points to rely on with the comfort zone. Use your comfort zone under 4 specific conditions. 1, when you're trying to hit an offensive shot, when you're trying to stick the ball, when you're trying to hit it aggressively and offensively. When you go for power, stay with your comfort zone. Why? Because biomechanically you want to be sound with that shot so that you're not off balance and doing strange things. Number 2, when the opponent hits an offensive shot to you, when it's deep, it's forcing, it's hard, go back with your comfort zone. If I'm stretched out, I'll go down the line. If I'm out in front here, I'll go back cross court. 3, when you're tight, and 4, when you're tired. 3 when you're tight, and 4 when you're tired. When you're tight and you're tired, that's when your mind starts to turn into scrambled eggs and you start taking unnecessary risks and try for the impossible. That's the same thing that we're talking about. Let me give you the other side of the coin, since I think this is so important. Can you violate your comfort zone, and should you violate your comfort zone? Absolutely. Absolutely. There are times, if I condition the person going with my comfort back cross court 3-4 times and they start to lean that way, it's a good time to violate it. But if I violate my comfort zone, I will raise my margins. I will raise my margins. I will watch the ball closer. I'll emphasize my follow-through more. I'll get the height over the net, and I'll move my target inside. It's not that I can't go for a non-comfort zone shot. It's that I try to make too good a shot, too offensive a shot under the wrong circumstances for that non-comfort zone. So I think you have both of them when you're doing that. Other part of the comfort zone is that was in the ball in relation to you. If I'm late, I'm reaching here down the line. If I'm early, out in front, I go cross court, generally speaking. Other part of the comfort zone is I divide the court by the central axis here. As I get pulled wider and wider, and it takes me longer and longer to get back to the center of the court, back to that central axis, then what must I do? Punt. Yes, absolutely punt. More height, right. I'm coming over and I'm changing. If I go to my comfort zone and it's still in my comfort zone to come back cross court because the ball's in close, I don't pound it, I loop it, or I float it, depending on the shot I hit. That gives me satisfactory time to move back to tactical position after the shot. More often than not, the kids learn one stroke right here, boom, all the way through. And it's a beautiful stroke. One step either side of center, and they're pounding the living daylights out of that ball. That's good. The problem is they do it out here too. The girls particularly. You want to know where I think the injuries come from? That nonsense. I've seen girls work running boom, 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 boom over there. I mean, if I did that to my car, I'd wear out the brakes, I'd wear out the tires, and I'd drop my transmission in about 10 minutes. There's no way in the world, I don't care what kind of weightlifting you do, what type of conditioning you do, you cannot condition yourself to do that. So when I come over here and I get pulled wider and I loop the ball back, I don't have to stop quite as quickly and come back as quickly. But when I go over here and I'm going to pound that ball at a lower level, why do they do it? Because it wins the point. It intimidates the other person. At a higher level, they just use the power and stick it back at you. No way you can avoid it. So these are just good general principles, I think, for different parts of the court that make a difference with what we're trying to do. And I think if it can help you with what you're trying to do, I say go ahead and use it. If all of it works and you can package it, that's fine. If some parts of it work and you like those parts of it, even better yet, then take those home and run with it. But don't forget the corrective methodology. If I want you to leave with any number of things, I think all the stuff that we covered was important, but I would itemize them as this. Number one, critically important would be the three variations flexibility that we do here. The modification of the footwork, accelerating through it, the change of the grip, and the use of the wrist. That works not only up at the net, it works in the backcourt when you're on full extension. Number two would be the comfort zone. What target do I go with? Do I go for the down the line or the cross court? Depends on the position I'm in at any point in time and whether I can get back into position for the next shot. Number three would be the corrective methodology. I'll leave you with that last statement, that is, any student that we work with will only continue to improve in direct relationship to what goes through their mind after every losing point. Either it's painful, they get disgusted with themselves, they lose confidence, and they lose self-esteem, or they feel good because they review the point, they correct the point, and they no longer have any garbage with them. So they're able to move on to the next one. The corrective methodology, I would say, is the major thing. Don't let the players go mentally dead out on the court. We talk about mental capacities and what people are capable of doing. We have to reinforce it. But I think what this does is give them something tangible to work with. And I've said it for many, many years, and it's followed pretty well true to form, that the players that I have that either win on a national level, all the way up to the highest level, or wind up playing pro tennis and make good pros and are acceptable pros and can make a living at it, are the players who do the mental corrections more than anything else. Not my most talented players, not by a long shot. So I think those are important things to think about. And when we do this, it is a perfect practice because I feel good about it. I feel good when I play a match, and the tough part is translating that into a match. But when the players are over here looking at their strings, they're not looking. You know, they're relaxing. They're coming back to what they need to do and erasing the bad stuff and reviewing the good stuff and moving forward on it. Bruce, got anything to add?
No, it's been an absolute pleasure to spend 4 hours with you all. I just have a blast. I learn more. God, we've been doing this a long time, and I just learn something new every time. And I just think it's great to see so many people trying to learn something that, the first time I took a lesson with Bill, we went through this, it must have been the look on my face that the Queen had when Columbus says the world's actually round. And I couldn't believe this is what he's saying, because it violated every single thing that any person had ever taught me. And I was a terrible tennis player, and that's probably why. And since then, I've enjoyed tennis more than anything. Forget success, forget winning gold balls, playing national tournaments. I like it, and I think it's a lot of fun. And I think that's why people drop out of tennis, and I think that's why they tennis welcome centers, and they say we